All right, good morning everyone. We're out here on Lake Bistineau with our buddy Wesley Miller, big Sasquatch outdoors. This is a beautiful lake. I love going and traveling the country and seeing different scenery, and this is some of my favorite stuff. The cypress trees, feel the swamp, and also we've been out here about 5 minutes. We got about 10 of these in the bucket. That's the smallest one so far. What are we doing out here today?
And today we're out here. Last night it rained. I think today it's got the fish really fired up. They're biting real good. We're out here on beautiful Lake Bistineau. It's absolutely a jewel of a lake. Lots of good scenery, lots of good fishing. And you know, we're just gonna have an outstanding day of fishing today. Excited to have Andy here with me. I've been wanting to get him here for a while. And we're just gonna see if we can catch y'all some fish.
We're gonna keep doing it.
Ooh, that's a big one.
There we go. Nothing wrong with that. All right, we're out here with Wesley Miller, Lake Bistineau. How do you say it? Bistineau?
Yeah, Lake Bistineau.
Okay, didn't know if I was saying it right.
Yeah, I mean,
Big Sasquatch outdoors. 2 casts, 2 of these good black crappie. Beautiful scenery, stumps, cypress trees, different way of fishing, twitching a cork. It's gonna be a good day, folks. God, these are fun. Oh my God. Holy shit.
Swing it over here. This guy put that big finish in the net. Oh my goodness. Holy smoke, that's a big old hybrid.
Yeah.
That's a fish there, boy.
God.
Big old striper bass.
I thought he was fighting.
Yeah, he was.
He was. They don't. That's fun.
Look.
I need to look at that. I mean, if you're running down the lake,
I've got a beautiful Lake Bistineau black crappie popping the cork. All right, I want to do a little video on fish care right quick. When we're catching fish and we're putting them in the ice chest every day on my guide services, when you get the fish throwed in here and they're just flopping around on the ice like that, they don't die real quick, and then you don't end up with good meat quality. So what I do is I take my weigh bag here and I get a little bit of water and I put it in with my ice. By putting the water in here on the ice, that allows my fish to sink down in the ice. It kills them almost instantly, and by the time we get back to the house and get ready to clean these fish, the meat will have firmed up. It's a lot easier to clean. You end up with a lot better fillet in the end. So that's what I do. I put a little water in here just to get it so they sink down the water a little bit. And as we fish, these fish will sink down that water and it gets them good and cold and makes them easy to clean. Andy ain't having a bit of fun. Oh, that's a pretty one too. Golly, you catch all the big ones. You give me the little bitty ones.
God, these are beautiful. Oh man. What's wrong with that?
Terrible, isn't it? Doubled up.
Oh man.
Gotta love it.
Lake Bistineau, black crappie,
Lake Bistineau,
3 feet of
black crappie,
water,
yeah.
twitching a cork.
Yep. All right, we've been fishing for a few minutes now and are catching a lot of fish, and our line's getting a little rough, so we're gonna retie it for you right quick. I got a special knot I tie with fluorocarbon that is a tight knot. A lot of people use a loop knot. I prefer a tight knot. I do that because I like my jig to always be horizontal in the water. So I'm gonna show you how to tie this knot right quick. This is a very simple knot. You pass the line through the bait, eye of the bait, and you'll make a loop. Now you pass the loop around your main line 4 times. 2, 3, 4. I call this a pop knot because and then you pass your tag in through the loop. Pull it up here. We're gonna wet it down with a little spit, but you know you have this knot tied correctly when you pull it down and it pops. You can hear that pop, and if it doesn't pop, then you don't have it tied correctly, and it'll break when you set the hook set. But what we're trying to do is you always want to make sure that your bait is sitting horizontal in the water. These fish all swim up under this bait and look at it just like this before they eat it. So it's imperative that you have at that point, all they're looking at is a silhouette. So you have to have the silhouette correctly and positioned correctly, or the fish will not see that as something to eat, and they won't eat it. So just real important. To me, it's the most important thing of crappie fishing is to always keep that jig horizontal in the water. Tight line instead of fishing the cork, these fish are a little deeper. All right, sometimes when we're out here and we're having problems with short striking fish, when I first pull a jig head out of the package, the first thing I do is take it and then take my finger and pull the hook out just a little bit to widen the gap, just a tiny amount, and that'll help you get better hook sets on fish. This morning we started off fishing over some shallow brush tops, catching black crappie, but as the morning progressed and that bite slowed, we came out to a little bit deeper water, to some standing timber, some big stumps, and we've swapped to fishing just tight line and small jigs. We're taking a small 32nd ounce jig head with a little real small minnow head, jig head, a little small, real small bait, 1.5 inch bait, and we're taking this and tight lining it around these big stumps, and we are catching some monster big white crappie around this stump. Whereas we were catching big black crappie earlier, we swapped over and we're catching some big white crappie. One of the wonderful things about Bistineau here, we have different options. We can go fish. We can fish for both species and catch big quality fish. When we're using live scope, and one of your biggest things, most important things, is boat control. And whenever you're easing up to say a brush top or stump, whatever you're trying to fish, and the boat's going to run over that, you're not doing yourself a whole lot of good if you use your front trolling motor to turn around and back yourself off of something, because it blows a lot of current, a lot of water, and just sound and whatnot over the school of fish that you're trying to catch. So by putting these trolling motors on the back of the boat, we're able to, when we get them both put down, we're able to then step on a button up there, and we can back off the fish that we're trying to approach and we're trying to fish for. And being in such a long boat, then our trolling motor noise is 21, 22 foot away from the fish, whereas opposed to if we were using our front trolling motor to back off the fish, we would spook them real bad. So like I said, in using live scope in the modern day crappie fishing like we're doing, boat control is everything. When you get these on the back of your boat, it gives you really total boat control. So the way I have mine on a homemade brackets. These are just simple 40-pound thrust Minn Kota trolling motors. They're nothing special. We just come back here, let them down. So you want to let them a good ways down, because if you keep them up shallow, they make too much noise. We'll just let them down, let the bracket down on them. Of course, this one's gonna give us a little shower. When you got them down in this position, and we right up here on the front of the boat, if you follow me up here, we have a button that as we're going, you know, say if we got fish in front of us out here, I'll get going forward, and we'll just, all right, so we're going forward, we're going 1 mile an hour. We can step on this button down here, that button. Now we got the boat all the way to a stop, and now the boat's going backwards. So as you're approaching fish and you don't want to have the sound of your big trolling motor up here, if you're spinning around them and blow water on them, that'll spook your fish. But if you have those trolling motors on the back, that gives you total boat control, and it'll make you a lot better angler.
What I like about those trolling motors on the back, you know, you hear about the tournament guys fishing real fast and slamming on, dropping on a fish, and that's fine and that's great for that. But they're even good for the everyday guy. I mean, we're easing up here, we're in shallow water. We're on a lay down earlier, you know, and you get hung up, you start pulling yourself in. If he used that front trolling motor, he would have blown it out. It would have been the end of that lay down. So he just put the brakes on. So it's for easing around the everyday guy too, not just the tournament guy that's running around 100 miles an hour. So I'm definitely gonna get some of them. What we talked about.
All right, today we had a very successful day of fishing, and we caught some fish. We wanted to fry some fish for lunch. I mean, these things swam, they were in the water swimming this morning, fresh as it gets. I got a simple cornmeal batter here with just a little bit of salt, cornmeal, red pepper. But one of the things I see people making the biggest mistake with, in my mind, when you're frying fish, is they will meal up a bunch of fish and then pile them up to the side before they fry them. And by the time you get a couple batches fried, the fish that are sitting there with the meal on them starts soaking the moisture out of the fish, and you just end up with a fried fish that isn't, you know, the best it can be. So we got these moistened with a little bit of water, and we'll just take a handful of them at a time and put in here in the cornmeal, and we'll give them a good shake. And we'll come over here to the fryer. And I like to just take mine and just shake a little bit of the cornmeal off of them. We'll put them here in my baskets. And we just want to fry them up small, you know, smaller batches at a time. This is my deep fryer will fry a pretty good bit of them. But by mealing them up and immediately dropping them in the grease, you'll end up with a whole lot better finished product. Your meal will stick to your fish a little better, and they'll just be good and crispy.
Well, Wesley, these fish were swimming around a stump a few hours ago. Now we're getting ready to eat them. We really enjoyed it, caught a lot of good fish, saw some beautiful scenery, had a good time. How do we get a hold of you? How does someone find you if they want to come do this in Louisiana?
God, just look me up on Facebook. You can either look up Wesley Miller or Big Sasquatch Outdoors. You can also get a hold of me. You can call me or text me at 318-465-1668. Get with me, we'll get you lined up, get you on the schedule, and we'll go catch a bunch of fish.
And they're delicious. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.